right, let's get down. We got John Nava with us today. We have Sharon Arnold. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, we have some really great people to talk to today.
Yes, we do.
John,
Happy
let's
Fiesta.
see. We're going to talk about your business, East End Glass, and we're going to talk to Sharon a little bit about some things she's got coming up. You got your son who's going to be on the show with us, right?
Right. He's going to be on the show a little bit.
He's a musician, and he's going to be playing
at Fiesta.
And we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about where he's playing, and you all can go see him and enjoy Fiesta.
All right. We're also going to talk about our friends at Gamez and Gamez Facility Solutions, and John and I know a lot about this man. John,
oh yeah,
he's been around a good while, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been around forever. He's a very good friend of mine, and he does a lot of work, and he sent me a lot of business.
Well, you know, I told him the other day, I went by and visited with him, and the problem with his company is he's got so many things that he does. I told him, I said, I don't know where to start. But he does plumbing, painting, glass, landscaping, lot paving, and stripping, and that's a pretty good sized business there.
Yeah. Utilities,
welding, roofing, HVAC, sales and maintenance, electrical, lighting, one-stop shopping. He's got 7 different companies.
Yeah, he does. He got 7 of them. He's been sending me a lot of business. He builds up, buildings from the ground up. And he sends me all their storefronts and all the glass.
All the glass and everything.
Yeah. And he also does a lot of repair works for like Church's Chicken, Burger King, and stuff like that. And then he sends me some, whenever they break a glass or something like that, he'll call me up and I'll get out there and measure it up. Lately, Church's Chicken been being hit a lot, so,
Yeah.
So John's back there.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm out there replacing all the glass for him.
He's going out there handing out rocks.
No, we don't do that.
They're getting free chicken, right?
No free chicken.
No free chicken, darn it.
Well, anyway, Gamez and Gamez Facility Solutions is one of our favorite people to work with. He's also involved in the stock show and rodeo, and he's on the raffle ticket committee too,
He's on the raffle committee. He's been there for years. He's been our top seller for many, many years.
And he spends a lot of money on those kids out there.
Yeah, he does. He got a heart to go. Julio is a very, very good guy.
So that's not the only reason to deal with Julio, but it's one of the reasons. His expertise and all the people that work for him, they know what they're doing. Now, if you have any questions and you think you'd like to do some business with this gentleman, call 210-601-0761, 210-601-0761, and just ask for Julio. And they'll hook you up with Julio, talk to him. Now, he's pretty busy. It may be a day or so before he gets back to you, but he'll get back to you. And the main thing about him, not only does he do top quality work, but you can trust him.
Yeah, I mean, he tells you he's going to do something, he's going to do it, and He'll get it done.
And and he had that accident here a while back, and he's doing better.
Oh yeah, he's doing. I saw him the other day. I went to his office and sat there and talked to him because we got some things coming up, and he's doing a lot better.
That's good. We're glad because if there's one person we don't want to lose, is somebody like Julio.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And let's see, we've got. Eastland Glass, and we also have, we've talked about Gamez and Gamez. Now let's talk about Eastland Glass. Okay, you're involved with a lot of people and doing your glass business. How long has your glass business been there? As long as Eastland Glass been there?
Well, East End Glass Company's been there for over 70 years, and I've been involved in the glass business for about 51 years. And so we do a lot of glass replacements for, Jack in the Box, McDonald's. We do a lot of McDonald's. And we go to Kerrville, Austin for Bill Miller's. We do a lot of Bill Miller's barbecue. We go to Corpus for them. But we have a lot of plate replacements that we do when people break out a window or whatever. And we also do residential homes, shower doors, mirrors, custom-made shower doors, those frameless shower doors. They're very, very popular nowadays. We do a lot of those. We also do a windshield for cars, but you need to bring those into us. We do anything that has to do with glass. We do that. Storefronts. It's
called East End Glass.
Yeah, East End Glass Company. We're over there on the southeast side, over there by the AT&T Center, 1870 Rigsby, off of Pecan Valley. And we have been there for many years.
Phone number.
210-333-2210.
One more time,
and
please.
210-333-2210. Give us a call. We'll be happy to help you out.
East End Glass is
East
the name
End
of the
Glass Company.
If nothing else, just Google it and you'll see some of the great things and the great people that have been involved with it. And we're going to start bringing on some of their testimonials, too. John and I were talking about that. You've got a lot of great customers, and it'd be great to have them come on and let them share a little bit on the radio about how you treated them. Because, really, when it gets down to it, it is how people are treated.
Yeah, definitely.
The price is important,
treat everybody right.
But, hey, it's how people treat you. And trust me, East End Glass would not still be in business for 70-something years if they haven't been doing something right.
That is correct.
That is true.
All right. Well, let's move on. We've got Debbie Taylor Williams on the phone with me this morning, or this afternoon.
This afternoon, Roy.
I kind of have to get off that, quit nipping on that stuff before I come on here. Hello, Debbie Taylor Williams. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing today?
Well, now, didn't you, if I remember correctly, when we first met, it wasn't much after that, and we helped you put together some radio commercials on our sister station here. Didn't you run those for a pretty good while?
They were still going on.
They're still on? All right.
Yes, it's called the Uplift Minute.
You're on KSLR, right?
Of encouragement. Yes.
Yeah, because we talked about that, about what to do with your time and money, right. And we agreed. I told you, do 60-second spots, do little infomercials, and those will be more effective. And it seems to have worked for you, huh?
It is great. Actually, they're not commercials so much as they are just about 60 seconds of inspiration.
Well, that's what I meant. It's paid you're paying money for it, so that makes it technically a commercial. But yeah, they're little inspirational snippets throughout the day, right?
That's correct. So thank you for suggesting that.
You have been through a lot of stuff here lately. You want to tell us what you do for a living? You're an evangelist. Tell us a little bit about that, and then let's talk about what you've just recently been through.
I'm the founder of Hill Country Ministries, whose mission is to spread the word and love of Jesus. And it is now going on its 26th year.
Wow.
So we celebrate that God has had this nonprofit ministry that began in Kerrville, Texas, and we've reached people all over the United States, as well as through our conferences being simulcast into other nations, and people all over the world receive the daily blog post I send out that features a different character trait of God every day. It lands in their inbox of their emails so they can start their day with a short devotional that focuses on the character of God.
Now, you travel around and speak, don't you?
I do. I have traveled to almost every state in the United States, taking my Pray with Passion conference. The only two mainland states that I haven't been to yet are Maine and Oregon. So if your listeners know that some church in Maine or Oregon who would like to help their members develop a more passionate prayer life, have them call me.
Well, now, your phone number and a website, please.
The website, you can either do my name, Debbie, Debbie Taylor Williams, or Hill Country Ministries. It's
Debbie Taylor Williams, Hill Country Ministries, okay?
Either one, hillcountryministries.org or DebbieTaylorWilliams.com.
Now, if they want to talk to you directly, what's the best way to reach you?
830-377-2704. And that number is also on the website.
Well, briefly, let's explain what happened to you recently. You had cancer, right?
Yes. 7 months ago, I was diagnosed with non-smokers lung cancer, stage 3. It was a shock. I wasn't having any symptoms. The Lord miraculously got me into my doctor for a diagnosis because of allergies that I was having that was producing a cough that had nothing to do with my lung cancer. And so I was shocked when through that process I got a chest x-ray and went to see a thoracic surgeon that they referred me to, and I couldn't have been more shocked than when he said you've got stage 3 lung cancer.
How are you doing now? You've been through all this. How are you doing now?
I tell you what, I'm so glad we're having this conversation now and not a month ago, because I had been through chemotherapy. I went through surgery and had a lobectomy of my right upper lobe. We thought that we'd get all the cancer, but he wasn't able to due to some of the cancer that was on one of my veins, lymph nodes that had cancer. And so then I had to go to MD Anderson for radiation for the month of February.
So you've been all around, huh?
I have been all around, but I can tell you right now, praise God, I'm through it all. I'm getting healthy and stronger, and I'm now on a pill that is supposed to target the gene that caused my cancer. And nobody knows why women my age are getting lung cancer, but there is an increase. And for those of us who are not smokers, it's due oftentimes to a particular
Debbie,
gene.
I need to move on right now. Give your phone number one more time.
830-377-2704.
Debbie Taylor Williams Ministry, right?
Yes, and I want your listeners to know that I started a new ministry on my website called Hope for the Journey. So anybody who's down, discouraged, have an illness, they can just look on my website for Hope for the Cancer Journey, Hope for the Journey, and lots of resources as well as Bible studies, free devotionals.
Okay, we got to move on. 830-377-2704. My friend Debbie Taylor Williams. And Debbie, I'm sure glad you're okay. We prayed for you, and we're glad for you to talk to you today, okay?
Thank you.
Look forward to having a lunch with you soon. How's that?
That sounds great. Sounds great. Bye-bye.
All right, we're moving on. You're listening to Talk About Texas. And I'm Ron Houston, and we've got some others with us here. Sharon Arnold is with us, as well as John Nava from East End Glass. And we've got, Sharon, we got your son coming up here.
Yeah, we got him coming up.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm actually here.
Take it away, Sharon.
He got caught off target.
Well, I know Fiesta starts April 24th through May the 4th. And there's going to be 100 events, including parades, the Battle of Flowers, and Fiesta Flambeau, live music. And I cannot believe this, everybody. It started in 1891 as honor of Alamo, with honors of Alamo and the Battle of San Jacinto. Yeah, and has evolved into the celebration of San Antonio's culture. Okay, Brance, when are you playing?
Yeah, so my band Sonic Radio is a part of the Fiesta de los Reyes event, which is an event that runs, the course of Fiesta, April 25th to May 4th. If you don't know much about De los Reyes, it supports the Fe Rayo Scholarship Foundation, which raises scholarships for local high school students. And I think, according to their website, they've raised like more than $7 million in 10 years for scholarships. So it's kind of cool to be a part of this. But we're a part of that lineup. I believe they have 5 stages. It's, they have food vendors, they have exhibitors, and of course a lot of entertainment, of different genres. My band is performing on Wednesday, April 30th from 3:45 to 6:45 on the Milam Park Street stage, which is 500 West Commerce Street. So it's right next to Market Square, where everything's kind of happening during Fiesta. So it's going to be quite exciting, and we're really looking forward to it. We're primarily an 80s cover band, but we do, hits from the 90s and, 70s and today.
Right.
So it should be a lot of fun.
Great band. I love to hear you all play. Love coming out. So everybody, you need to come out and listen to them play.
You played out at the rodeo too, didn't you, this last year?
Yeah, so I play the rodeo every year, and actually this band, I think I mentioned this last time I was on air, was started because, I had been offered a gig like in 2014. That's when I started playing the rodeo, but I didn't have a band. So I, called up some of my musician friends, and we formed Sonic Radio, and some of these friends go as far back as middle school. So we started that band as a result of the rodeo, and we play there every year, and it's just such a great time.
That's a great story. That's a great story that you go back that far with your friends, and you have great friends, and they all have great voices, and you've got a great voice and a great guitar player.
We just never know where you're going to end up.
Yeah, you never know where we're going to end up. So I mean, and Fiesta is such a cultural staple.
It is,
and such a time of celebration in the city, and we're so happy to be a part of that.
It is. It's a great thing that they have every year, a celebration.
If people are listening right now, and they may say, "We can't do without that band," how do they reach you? And you have a website.
Yes, we have a website. So go to sonicradioband.com. You can also follow us at Sonic Radio Band on Facebook and Instagram. If you're at the event, you come see us. We'll be selling merchandise. We'll have T-shirts and keychains and stickers. And
wow.
So, and you can definitely find out more about that stuff as well as on our website, sonicradioband.com.
Well, that's great. I'm glad you guys are going to be playing down at the Fiesta.
Yeah, we're very excited.
Yeah. Well,
you got anything else?
What else you have to say, Brent?
We've run out of questions.
We got you covered. If you don't,
I think I covered it.
Did you cover everything?
Yeah, I think so. The Fiesta de los Reyes, just, be mindful that, it goes towards scholarships. I think a lot of, these events at Fiesta, go back to the community. It's like ways, the proceeds from it go back to the community. So it's a good idea to go out, as somebody who lives in San Antonio.
Yeah, $7 million in scholarships. That's great.
Yeah, for over 10 years, from what I read on their website. And I think you can go to their website, the Ray Feo Foundation, scholarshipfoundation.com, and you can learn more about that.
Well, that's great.
I tell you what I would like sometime. I'm familiar with the Ray Feo group. I used to have them on the air during Fiesta years ago. See if you can get Ray Feo on for us, okay? And hook us up with those people, and we'll see if we can put him on.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hey, one year I had King Antonio and Ray Feo sitting at the same table, so don't laugh. Of course, I was very lucky that year.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't doubt it. It's like, there's 60 degrees of separation or however they say that, in San Antonio.
Right.
So.
Huh. Well, I'm excited for you playing there.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you this morning. Let us hear your phone number one more time if people want to get more information about your band. And if you have a website, mention that too one more time.
Yeah, so we don't have we don't have a phone number, but the website is sonicradioband.com, or they can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Sonic Radio Band.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. We appreciate you.
Thank you for taking time out to be on.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little more about East End Glass before we go to the next person.
Thanks, Brent.
One of the reasons that people do business with East End Glass is because of the quality of service you give them. We've talked about that before. And that you do it right the first time, because that's one of the things you don't want to happen if someone comes out and fixes glass and it rains and it wasn't fixed right. You don't have that problem, do you?
No, I mean, everybody has problems here or there, but we make it right.
Yeah, that's the main thing, because in this day of so many people doing so many things and you don't even know who they are, they're fly-by-nighters, especially after hailstorms and roofers and stuff like that. They don't do the job right. By being around 70 years, I don't think East End Glass is going anywhere, do you?
No, it's going to be there forever.
It'll outlive both of us.
It'll outlive me.
All right, well, we've got somebody else on the phone now, and this is a friend of yours, John Wayne Cure, and past grad night of 87, 89, is that right?
Yes.
Correct, yes, sir.
Why don't y'all visit a little bit?
Hey, Wayne, how's it going?
I'm doing well, John. How are you?
Doing pretty good, yeah. We're just talking about, we want to get the Knights of Columbus involved with this radio station, and then I thought about my buddy, Wayne Cure.
Well, Wayne, it's because you guys do so many goods. I've been around the organization off and on throughout my years in radio, but by knowing John, I got the chance to see up close and personal how many things that he's involved in because of Knights in Columbus, and it's really they do a lot of really good things, and I'm just talking about over at his church. I can imagine what they do across the community.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Wayne, tell us all, what all our councils do and what parish that we support.
Well, we're based out of Holy Name. Our council number is 8789, and our main function is to support the community, and with that goes the Holy Name Catholic Church, and we do so many exciting things over there. We support the Holy Name Food Pantry. We work with the Habitat for Humanity. We work, some of our fundraiser funds go out to Allied Women's Shelter. We have the wheelchair drive, the St. Peter, St. Joseph's Home. We do a Coach for the Kids drives. And every year we do that. We do those, and we're involved in Special Olympics.
Ooh, I'm getting tired just listening.
You do a lot. That's great. That's great.
We even sponsor some seminarians that are future priests. So,
Well, let me ask you this: does every Catholic church have a Knights of Columbus chapter, or there's maybe 3 or 4 churches that have a chapter together? How does that work?
There are some that do have double-breasted, that have two parishes have one council, but for the most part, most parishes have their own council.
Knights of Columbus.
Yes, sir.
And for those people that are listening and that don't really know, they've heard the name, but they don't really know what is Knights of Columbus and how did they originate? What's the history?
Well, we're one of the oldest fraternal organizations. Father Mike McGaffney, he started this. His whole basis for starting it was to support the widows and the orphans. And that's the way he got it started. And it just snowballed from there. And like I say, each parish now tries to help everything in their community. We have so many exciting men that help us out. We're called them knights, and they're like angels, because they just when we have a fundraiser, they just show up. They just show up in the droves, and they're willing to help. They put their aprons on, and they just tell us, "What do you need? Where do I need to go?" And their work ethic is unparalleled.
That's great.
Yeah, we do a lot. Like, we have, like every 5th Sunday, we try to give away a breakfast taco. The Knights of Columbus, we get out there, we cook. But it's usually around 9 o'clock Mass, but I'm serving Mass during that time. So after Mass, I go out there and eat and grab a taco and all that.
So you've got to depend on somebody to save one back for you.
Yeah. Wayne usually saves me about 10 or 15 of them. I'm just kidding.
We do.
Bring me one next Sunday.
Yeah.
We actually, I stepped away from the Grand Night. I was the Grand Night for 2 years, and this year's Grand Night is, this year was Jacob Rodriguez, and then we have our financial secretary, who's Benito Garcia, who's been there for about 7 years now. He keeps us all on track. These gentlemen work, and Robert Garcia, Jeff Herber, and, of course, John Nava. I don't know how that man keeps up. He's involved in so many things.
He is. He's a great man.
Organization. He is. He truly is.
Now, what's the pathway to become a knight? What do you have to do to start with, and how do you transition to be a knight?
Well, you have to be a practicing Catholic, and we call it a Catholic gentleman.
The first thing is you have to be a practicing Catholic, okay?
A practicing Catholic, yes, sir. And then you fill out an application, and I can get you the number. I can get it through.
No, that's okay. If someone's going to a Catholic church, they'll tell them how to become a knight.
Oh, yes, sir. And we'll get you in, and we'll do a ceremony, and then during that ceremony, we'll bring you into the next council meeting, and we give you a hat and an apron and tell you, get busy, let's go to work.
All right. Well,
and we'll feed you.
Wayne, we appreciate all the things that the Knights of Columbus do. And John and I were talking this morning. We were wanting to get somebody on. We had a cancellation. And I asked him again. I said, let's get somebody from Knights of Columbus on. That's a great organization. Of course, he's a Knight, so that wasn't hard to do that. So anyway, we're glad you came on because I've been wanting to get somebody on from Knights of Columbus for a good while because I know it's a great service organization.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yes,
Thank you for taking time out of your Sunday to be on with us.
Well, thank y'all very much. And if you have any other questions, I'm sure John can answer them. And if not, he'll get to somebody who will answer for you.
Well, I sure will. And Wayne, thank you so much for doing this for us. You know, you're just a very good friend of mine for many, many years.
All right. We want to thank East End Glass for being one of our sponsors. If you have a chance, do a little business with them. And also Gamez and Gamez Facility Solutions. They have a list of 1 million things that they do, and just get a hold of them. Gamez and Gamez Facility Solutions or East End Glass if you need some glass for any reason. And I'm Ron Houston, and on behalf of everybody here, Talk About Texas, you have a very nice day.
Have a great Sunday, everybody. Happy Fiesta.